What up,
What?
kids?
Well, look at that.
We're all back together
We're
again.
all back together. How long
I
has it
mean,
been?
it's there's a song that says it's been a while.
I think it's been like since the beginning of season
The
three.
season, yeah. Hey,
Season
CPJ.
three, four?
We're
Whatever
on
season we're
three.
on.
We're
Yeah,
at yeah, I think we're on season three,
we're on season
right?
three. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Miss Pineapples, you good?
Yep.
All right. Hi, Shauna. How are you?
Shauna Lou Who, how's it going?
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Yes, y'all hit the like, the subscribe, the comment, the hearts, the hashtags.
And remember, we can see you whenever
We
you
can
give us
see you,
the.
angry people.
you give us the angry face.
We've seen some angry folks. Hey, Sean, how's it going?
Hi,
Thank you
John.
for hopping in here.
Thanks. We appreciate it. We appreciate it very much.
We do appreciate it. We appreciate all you beautiful people coming back
I
night after
know.
night.
I know the extended weekend. The extended
Okay.
weekend was
And you know
pretty
what?
nice.
It was good. I do appreciate an extended weekend for sure. That's
So
one of
tell
my faves,
me,
especially when it's a Monday.
yeah, tell us about your extended weekend there, Sandy.
Okay, kids, let me see. What what have I done today? Let's see. Oh, okay. So we had your kiddo's birthday party kicked off our weekend.
Yes.
So we did that. But before that, I mean, I really thought we were going to be stranded because it was raining, cats and dogs. I don't think Wolford has seen as much rain as we saw Friday night. But then we headed into town. I'm like, it's not even raining.
Yeah.
What's going on over here?
I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, we didn't get anything.
Yes, you guys did not get anything. I mean, the water was just like if somebody passed you, it was going over it was covering you, it's going over the hood. We were in our pickup too. And so anyway, so we did that and I got home probably about 10:30 was when I finally got home. Saturday, what was Saturday? Oh, Saturday, our running group, we all got together and of course, last year with everything, we didn't get to see each other, but we finally got together, no social distancing and masks like they had been requiring. So that was really good to see everybody because it's been about 7 months since I've seen my running group. So that really did my heart a lot of good. And then Sunday, we just kicked back and relaxed. I feel like I did something else Saturday. What did I do? Oh, I went to dinner with the Wilsons. We had some good hibachi. And then,
Hibachi?
man,
Yeah,
I
because
just love.
Saturday. Wait, so yeah, Saturday was the third.
Yes. And that's when most everybody had their festivities was on
Right.
Saturday.
And that's when all of the fireworks started.
That,
Basically.
okay. No, no, no. Here in Pflugerville, they've been going. The minute they open that stand, we've had all the fireworks going. But and then today, okay, I'm gonna blow y'all's mind. I binge watched movies. Can y'all guess what
No,
movies I
who
watched?
is this person that is to the left of me that is telling
Right.
me that they
That actually
actually
watched a
watched
movie.
movies?
But
Because
okay, so I tell you that to tell you this. They're not anything new. They're older
okay,
movies.
right.
But it's a series of 3. And one started in 95.
Series of 3 started in
Uh-huh.
'95.
And one of the actors that came out in 95 is no longer with us, but he was greatness.
Jurassic Park.
I was about to say Jurassic Park.
No, who's gone from that cast?
Dr. Hammond.
Okay, no. No. Give up.
Uh,
95. No.
Nope. Okay.
95.
Keep going.
Three cool.
um.
Alien.
Yes.
Oh, Aliens is a good one. Yeah,
I've never
But that didn't
had a
start in 95.
desire
that's
to
true.
watch Alien.
95.
That was more, it started like in the '80s.
Oh, The Matrix.
I've never had a desire to watch The Matrix.
You should. You should find that desire.
Okay, never mind. We give up. We give up.
Okay, I watched Jumanji.
Oh, Robin Williams. That's who you're referring
Yes.
to. Yes.
Yes. I thought they were good. I thought they were funny.
They were
I
funny.
wouldn't call it a threequel, but I get why it would be.
What do you mean?
Because Robin Williams was only in the first one, and then he wasn't in the second or third.
Right.
Well,
But
he
it
was in the
was
second unseen.
Jumanji.
But it was too much.
Yeah.
It was Jumanji.
So did you
I'm
like?
not arguing that part.
Did you like The Rock in Jumanji
I
and
did.
and Kevin Hart?
You know what? They are great because I also watched Central Intelligence,
Oh,
Oh, I love that movie.
and that one
It's
was
so
so
hilarious.
good.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then I just finished watching Rookie of the Year. So that's all I did today. It was just watch movies
that
and
is
eat.
awesome.
Oh, and I ran this morning 2 miles, and that's it.
Did you do any fireworks?
No, like Kate's not into fireworks, and my niece and nephews were with their family, so we didn't.
Yeah.
We sat on the porched. We sat on the porch and watched other fireworks, and that was fun. And then I thought it's time for bed, but it wasn't really time for bed for anybody else, just for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so
But
about midnight-ish, they were still going strong, and then it started raining. So the Lord helped me out and stopped the fireworks.
it said, "Hey, I'll stop the fireworks for you."
Sandy, I know that you're struggling to go to sleep, and I know that's only making you angrier. I'm just old now. I'm just super old.
Is that what it is? I don't think so.
I'm just like a little grouchier these days.
I think I was the same way. Do you want to go
'Cause
next, Mr. Pineapple? You
It
want
was
me to
just
go?
nonstop. Let me
go
catch
ahead.
up on these comments real quick.
Go for
Chon
it.
says, "Hi, Joe.
Hey, Chong.
Lols, freaking Lols is up in here." And he said, "Wu Tang forever." And Chon said, "No, thank you."
I think it's
Tupac.
to the fireworks. Yeah.
Over
Yeah.
Biggie. And
Oh,
they are
yeah.
still doing fireworks right now. And that applies to Pflugerville as well. So,
Luckily, we had a few people doing some fireworks, and luckily my dogs didn't freak out. I think if my dogs were freaking out, I'd be a little bit more upset. 'Cause
yeah.
I can see why you were upset, Sandy, because your dogs they get a little worried with the fireworks.
They do. And then they had like the artillery shells. So you could hear those suckers. Like,
Yeah, they go
I
boom.
mean,
They
they
go
go boom. And so luckily last night though, Cash was kind of passed out, and so he just slept through all that, which was great. I was the one that was just like, "Shut up already."
So on Friday, yeah, we had my son's birthday party, so that was cool.
Happy
Thanks
birthday,
for
Jed.
coming over, and of course that dude made out like bandits. I don't even know why I buy him anything because
No. You've got money now.
yeah, it's like you need to just. And so we had it at Caboose, and he comes to me and is like, "Hey, Dad, can I get some more money?" I was like, "No." It's like you got plenty. You have your own. Because he's got his own green light card. Like you got your own. And then his Thea was there, and she said, "Well, you might want to open up my present." And I was like, and then he starts running for it, and I'm like, "No. You need to get your friends back in here, and then we'll open all the presents, because then you could go out and play video games and stuff like that." But he made over $100.
Good for him.
I mean, birthdays are fun these days.
Right? I was like, "What in the world?" I was lucky to get
real,
$10
though.
for my birthday.
Right. You're how old? 13? That's what you're going to get. $13.
$13 in quarters.
Yeah. Make it a little bit harder on you.
Right, exactly. And then on Saturday, so Saturday was cool, because, so if y'all, I know y'all heard, but my father passed away last week. But he loved to go fishing. And so we decided to go fishing in honor for him.
That's
this weekend.
awesome.
I
So-
saw the
that.
pictures.
Yeah, so it was cool because on Thursday we went, and of course I'm the only one that knows how to fish, so I'm the only one that has to put on the worms, that puts on the bobbers, that casts.
So you're not really fishing. You're helping your family out.
Right. Yeah, I'm so basically helping my family out. So I had like 3 poles basically in the water, and I'm watching the bobbers because they're on their phones, or my wife is like, I'm just like, "Are y'all watching your bobbers? Jet, watch your and then like Kiki, reel it in, and she's the only one that caught a fish, and so she caught the little fish, and I posted it was about this big.
You should have done a different angle, Joe.
Yeah, to make it look really
She caught a minnow.
and then she actually caught a crawdad. It was a little tiny crawdad that she caught, And so I was like, what? And I didn't get to catch anything. Of course, when I bring the kids along, there's always something. Oh, my stomach hurts. Can we go home? Mosquitoes are everywhere. So we probably fished like for maybe an hour and a half. So we left. And I was like, I didn't catch anything. So
Isn't family just a joy?
just a joy to have when you
We're
go
little peachy.
So yesterday I was like, I'm going fishing, and then they're like, do you want us to come with you? And I'm like, not really.
I'm just gonna go have some me
I
time.
was gonna have some me time. So I made it out, and this is funny because I don't have like a very big tackle box of equipment. So I went to Walmart and picked up a few more things that
Oh,
I
I
was
thought
like,
you were
hey,
dropping hints for your birthday.
no, 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 no. I went ahead and
Like,
picked
right
up my stuff, what I
right
needed.
then.
And I was like, I'm going to grab these couple extra things in a bigger tackle box. And so I still had some worms and everything. And so I go out there and I grab 2 poles. And I was like, okay, well, I'll just throw one pole into the water and I'll go get the other stuff and kind of load up everything. Well, I was like within 15 minutes, I had a fish on. I was like,
Oh
oh.
wow.
Awesome.
So I caught my first fish, and so I was like, "Sweet!" And I didn't. So I didn't. I had 1 pole, and I was able to catch like 4 fish. The second fish I caught was a catfish, and it was probably about that long.
Right. If
It
you
was
can
like
see on the
that
screen.
You can't even fit it on the screen. That's how big it was. No, it was probably
Usually
about-
they're like this long.
It was about that long right there, and unfortunately, the second catfish swallowed the bait and swallowed the hook. So it was gonna die. So that it kind of sucks on that. So, but before
So
he
you
died,
shot it to put it out of its misery.
no.
Is that what you do with fish? I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, so I'm like trying to get the hook out of him, and he's like squirming and stuff like that. And so if you've never caught a catfish, they have barbs on their dorsal fin and their lateral fins, and he's got me like really good. I was
Really?
bleeding all over him, bleeding all over the catfish, trying to get the hook out of him without. I was trying not to kill him, but he had swallowed it, so he was going to die. And so I finally get the hook out, and I toss him, and I'm bleeding, and I'm like, "That's fish number 2, Dad."
Right. He's probably like, I watched it suffer.
Right, exactly. He's probably like, "That's not how you hold a catfish, and that's why you
Oh
got
my
poked."
gosh.
Because you're supposed to hold a catfish a certain way, and you
Yeah.
won't get stabbed by it. And so I did not do it that way, and that I got stabbed. It was funny because I was actually on FaceTime with my daughter, who's in Mexico right now.
Is she having fun?
She's having way too much fun, and so.
Get your butt home right now, young
Yeah,
lady.
exactly. So she was talking to her and her boyfriend are talking to me, and I'm like, "Hey, hold on, I'm about to catch fish." So that was cool. I caught one when I was on FaceTime with her, and then the last 2 fish were like these little tiny sunfish and stuff like that. And they were
Little minnows.
they were literally that big. So, but it was fun. So I caught 4 fish, and I had to call Kiki and let her know that she lost.
We had to gloat.
Yeah, because I win. That's how it's supposed to be.
Right. And then you just need to go ahead and tell them that the only reason you didn't win yesterday was because of them.
Right, exactly. Yeah, because they did not help.
They didn't scare off the fishes.
Yeah, I was the one doing all the work. They were just sitting in the chairs reeling it in when I told them to reel it in.
Right. So I have a question. I've never been fishing before. I know that's a shock to a lot of people because I'm outdoorsy.
Right.
And so when the fish hook on, it goes through their lip? They're not supposed to swallow it? I mean, I don't understand
So
that.
you're supposed to set the hook. So basically the fish, here's the bait. So the fish come along and grab it. And whenever you set the hook, you pull it, and that's supposed to grab their
Pierce
lip.
their lip.
But
Okay.
if you wait a while for them to set the hook, they can actually swallow it, and that's what happened. And I was on the phone with Balana, and I saw my bobber go down. Like, oh, my bobber's down. I need.
Oh,
And when I
okay.
set the hook, basically I'm setting when he's already got it basically done.
So
down his
us
throat.
people that are easily distracted with other things should probably not go fishing.
Yeah, you probably or leave your phone somewhere else totally.
Well, it's
Right.
not even that. I'm just like, I don't think I can sit still long enough. I'll be like, what am I doing out here?
So there's 2 types of fishing. So there's like the bobber fishing where, where you have the pole and the pole doesn't do anything. But there's
Mm-hmm.
another fishing where you can actually cast a lure and then reel it in and keep doing it back and forth. And so, more traditionally, we did the bobber fishing, and my dad was the one that we did the lure fishing. So you can where you keep busy instead of just watching the bobber
Okay.
do nothing. So there's a
Okay.
couple of different options there for that.
I've seen the ones where they put on like these big over thingies,
The
and
waders,
they it's the weight. Is it weighting?
waders,
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. But
yeah, where they
then,
where you can walk out pretty deep and not get
yeah,
wet and stuff like that.
and then I've heard of fly fishing. Is that part of that when you toss
Yeah,
that in?
so fly fishing, it's you using a fly pole, and you have a little lure called a fly, and it basically lands on top of the water like a normal fly, and your fish will come up and get it like that.
My gosh, there's just
Yeah,
so many rules.
yeah. There's a lot.
There's so much.
There's a lot of things for fishing, and so you just try to. And the other thing too, you have to have a fishing license. So I'd go get a fishing license. I got a producer. My producer, we got her a fishing license for one day because
Ain't trying to spend no extra
right, I'm like,
money.
I want to see how you like it first. And she's like, okay, it's cool as long as I don't have sunflower seeds with me. Because she was like chewing the sunflower seeds and not paying attention to her bobber and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
there are things you can put like a bell on your pole. So if it's like bobbing like this, you can hear the fish. So that's one way to do it. But on the most part,
Oh.
you have to pay attention. Because
So I think we should plan
seen
a
people
lake.
take their pole and go because they
I've
weren't
seen
paying
it
attention.
hook onto people, like when they throw it back and then it hooks onto somebody else. I mean,
Yeah.
that's some FL Army stuff right
That
there.
happens
Yeah,
legit.
exactly.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah.
Or you get them connected.
There's a couple of
wrapped with someone
questions
else's.
there.
Yeah, let me catch up on these. Hold on. So Lowell's is saying Dave Chappelle over Kevin Hart.
So for straight
I
up
don't
comedy,
need to do
yes.
either. I want to just do both.
For straight up comedy, yes. For smart comedy, Dave Chappelle. Kevin Hart is like, it's more like his expressions and stuff.
Yeah, he's a good little storyteller. My kids are getting a Hallmark card and a pat on the back. True.
You say that now.
Sure thing. It's easy to say when you don't have kids, man.
Yeah.
You have a wife. Oh,
Yeah.
wait. Never mind.
And then Sean, of course, is saying no to the fishing. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Lowell says every time I go fishing, I always feel bad for the worms when I hook them.
Oh yeah, and what's really so I buy night crawlers, so they're about this long, and the hooks we're using are this small. So I have to you have to tear the worms apart, and then put them on together. So
Or
it's
you just take scissors and just cut them.
no man, you got to do the man way. You got sure. Take it.
Jamie's like, get your manicure scissors.
Nope.
I don't know that that was the man way. I think it was just we didn't have scissors. We weren't smart enough to take them with us.
Jordan over LeBron.
Oh,
And I
yes.
watched Space Jam, and I love Jordan.
Yeah.
And then shout out to people who have to fish for a living. I'm awful at it. Yeah,
I
really
love
shout
looking
out.
at the videos of the people up north, and they put their little tent or their little igloo thing, and then they punch the hole out, and then
Yeah, ice fishing.
Ice
Yeah,
water
awesome.
fishing. That's pretty cool.
And that ice is like a good foot to 2 foot thick.
below the
Because you have to
Oh,
drill.
yeah.
You have a
they're-
drill, right?
Yeah, they
Well,
have
they
an
have a
auger.
special thing. Yeah.
Yeah, they have an auger that makes that hole, and they pull it out, and then so there's no float. They basically let it go down, and they watch the end of the pole do this when they know they got a fish on it.
Oh my! Look, Lowell's too distracted to go fishing. Guilty.
Yeah, that's my kids. That's my
then-
my whole family.
Yeah. CPJ says 2 types of fishing I know of: catching, 2, nope, going home. Yeah. And Lowell says, is fishing an expensive hobby? That's a good question.
No, not really. You could probably get everything you need to go fishing for less than $50. You don't have to have a fancy pole. You don't have to have.
I think the
fancy-
hardest
yeah.
part about fishing is the license
Yeah,
and finding a good spot or, a decent spot.
right. The license is $47 for a year, and
Oh, that's not bad.
here in Texas, it's $47 a year. And then, so the
That's because
thing
we don't
is-
have any lakes.
right? And I always tell people, like, how often I've never been carded for my license.
Oh,
But,
right. But
yeah.
the one time you don't
But the one
have
time
it,
that you
you'll
don't
get
get
it,
your
you'll
license.
carded.
The game
you'll
warden
get
happens
fined.
to be out.
And
Right,
it'll be
yeah.
like triple the amount of the
Right.
license would have been. So
Right, exactly.
Get
The
your
thing that
license,
if
folks.
you go to New Mexico to fish too, you have to get their license, and if you plan on catching trout, you have to have a trout stamp. So there's 2 little things that You have to know
As
about if you
opposed to
go.
a tramp stamp.
Yeah, as opposed to a
No, you
trans.
want a trout stamp, not a tramp stamp. And then Lowell's also said, I need hobbies that aren't expensive in my life.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what? That's funny because I started running as a hobby and it's one of the most expensive hobbies that I've ever done.
She just went up to Alaska for it. So
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
yeah, drove all the
drove
way.
all the way.
wait, y'all drove to Alaska?
No, I'm totally kidding.
Oh,
And then CPJ says, we like to trout fish in the Red River Angel Fire area. Husband doesn't know, but he's about to get a surprise fly
Fly
fishing
fishing.
excursion.
That is awesome.
way to go, sexy legs.
Dude,
You are
that
gonna
is
enjoy
awesome.
that.
Can we go
Yeah.
fly fish?
Can you like carry us along?
Right. We'll
So,
drive with you.
yeah. So fly fishing is a lot more difficult too because you traditionally don't use the reel. You have this long string and you're like whipping it back and forth.
So when you see it on the TV, like
Yeah.
in the movies and everything, like that's pretty accurate.
That's pretty accurate on the fly fishing.
I've
part
never
of it,
seen
yeah.
fly fishing.
Yeah.
Maybe once or twice actually in my whole life, and I just don't.
Yeah, and
remember.
that whole creating those flies, the lures, the little flies, that is an art into
Oh,
itself.
that's like yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
about to
so-
say.
So
There's
is it a
hobby in
mosca?
that.
Is it a mosca?
It's designed
It
to look like a
looks
mosca.
like a
Yeah.
mosca, yeah.
If
But
you ever
people
like,
actually like,
Yeah.
remember I told y'all about Jacob Duquesne whenever he watched. Remember I said that guy makes little miniature cities and people and all that stuff. Like that's what they do. They make the miniature, the flies, and I mean they have pliers and they're stitching and stuff, and they got
yeah, it's crazy how much work they put into.
That's why they
those.
get pissed when they ever lose them.
Okay, that's what I was
Because
gonna
they
say
made them from
because
scratch.
you see all these like lures and stuff. Like, so do fish actually get attracted to those things? Like, they're like almost like gummy worm looking things. Like, do
Oh,
fish really?
are
Those
you
are
talking about the
cot-
worms?
Yeah,
those
yeah,
are-
but like
Yeah,
the
so-
plastic ones.
Yeah, so you have those worms, and people will dance them. It's called dancing the worm, basically, or just fishing with the worm,
Uh-huh.
and it'll kind of dance underwater like
drinking
this,
with the worm.
and that fish will go. So that's for like bass fishing and stuff like
Oh,
that.
okay. So it's not. You probably wouldn't use it here to catch the little small things
Like the
because
fly
those
fishing-
lures are like really big. Seem like to me.
Yeah, it
So-
depends on because there's certain fish that like will attack anything. So they're either attacking it because it's in their territory or they want to eat it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
Interesting. So Lowell says, dang, picture telling your significant other you got a ticket. They say, why? You said illegal fishing. It would be worse, Lowell, if you said illegal catfishing. And then she thinks that you're catfishing the show. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
Anywhere that it's legal?
Huh?
I said, is there anywhere that it's legal?
I don't know if it's illegal
I don't
or
know that you say illegal catfishing. Right? Oh, I see what you're saying now.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Now I do.
catfishing.
Now I do. So
And
I
then
remember
Sean
Lubbock,
said-
there was catfishing pools. Like you go and you could you pay $5 or whatever, and they just stock the pool with fish,
Yep.
and you would.
Have we
you
ever
get-
harpooned fish? Or is that like back in the day? Is that still a sport?
I've
No,
only
there's
seen it on
bow
those
fishing,
shows
though.
like Joe has watched that where they're the naked or whatever, where they cut their the sticks and they go spear fishing.
yeah. So yeah, you can do spear fishing and there's bow fishing, like where they actually have a bow with a string on it and they'll like.
Oh, you do. You catch marlins, right?
Well,
With
not
those, like the
necessarily
big-
marlins, but bigger ocean fish is usually. what they
Yes.
eat.
Okay, I've seen those. So Eric showed me this video. He said, "We would you have wanted to do this?" And it was a that they caught the fish and they would throw it, and the eagles would come catch the
Oh,
fish in the
yeah.
air. So cool.
That would be cool.
Like that would have been awesome. Let's see. Hold on. Let me go back to these comments. Lowell says, first time I went fishing was in a Pokemon game. Still didn't get a bite.
Been there, Lowell's been there.
CPJ says, Lowell's, my response as a significant other to illegal fishing. Do hood rat things, get hood rat consequences. And Sean, oh my God, I think we're upsetting Sean with the bait.
Right.
Lowell's, imagine catfishing and getting arrested. Has to go on the world's dumbest criminals. I mean, for real. What did you do to get in here? Yeah. Oh my God, you'd have to make up a story. You would totally.
Exactly.
Lied about being a hot woman without a license. And then one more, Dustin Davis, a hook and a bite. Got any guesses? Oh, a hooker.
Oh.
Different show. Different show. My bad.
Oh yeah, but yeah, it was fishing. I like fishing. Growing up though, my dad would take us fishing all the time.
Where would y'all
And
go? Like just
so we lived in Clovis, so we would
okay.
go to Fort Sumner, we'd go to Ute Lake or Santa Rosa.
What'd you say again?
Ute, the two
We were
Utes.
just talking about Ute Lake.
Yeah. The problem is, this is the problem. My dad would go fishing. We would go on the boat that we had, and we would stay on the boat until he got tired.
It's usually how it goes.
Yeah. So I imagine me getting sunburned. That's how long we would stay on that stinking boat. And, you know, it doesn't happen like this weekend where I got like 4 fish. Sometimes we would go days and we'd get hours without getting a nibble or nothing. And so you're just like, can we do something different?
I think that fishing is a sport for a patient person,
Yeah, it definitely is.
and I'm not a patient person. In case y'all are wondering,
Right?
I know
I
it's
mean,
a
I think
shocker.
it's kind of different, right? Like, again, it goes back to your spots. Like if you go to a spot where you know there's either heavy loads of fish, or particular fish that you're going for,
Right.
or bigger fish that you're going for, and so
Well,
it's a balance of where you're.
yeah, and it's a whole bunch of things. So it could be like the temperature. If it's too hot, the fish will go deeper. So you have to learn to go deeper. If you can't get to the deep area, you're not going to get any fish. If the moon phase affects fishing, the weather affects fishing. So it's all kinds of different things that you
So
can't.
temperamental.
Yeah,
It's better
crazy.
to go earlier in the morning before the sun.
Early in the
comes-
morning or
comes
late in
up.
the evening,
Yeah.
and then what type of bait are they going for? So if you don't have the
Yeah,
right
what's
type of
tasty?
bait,
Stink bait.
yeah, I use some of that. I didn't catch anything on my stink bait, but of course I was with my
They
family.
sell it at
Even
Walmart.
Even the fish are picky.
Yeah.
All right.
And there's some people that use. So there's this fish called carp that a lot of people will go fishing for, and they
I'm
use
sure Lowe's is gonna comment on
cornflakes
that carp.
and Big Red. So they'll take
What in the
corn-
carp
How does
is
it
going
work?
on?
Yeah, so they'll take the cornflakes, pour Big Red in it, and it makes this little ball of cereal or whatever, and then they put that on the hook and they toss that out. And this particular fish, carp, they love that. And my dad
I mean, that's
hated
only in Texas though, because you try going over there in Montana and getting some Big Red.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That is so funny.
Yeah, there's
I've
some
never heard of that.
crazy things about fishing. So it's some weird stuff.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. So
Well, thank you for taking the time to explain fishing.
yeah.
What I was going to say is we should plan a family trip to the lake. Who has a boat?
Who's got a who's got a boat big enough for all of us?
We need
We're
an
gonna
18 to
plan-
25 person.
Right.
I think if I'm ever going to plan a fishing trip again, it would be like, what is it? Those Alaskan salmon fishing trips?
Yeah.
Is that what those are?
with the
You get the
bears.
freaking huge salmon and stuff. And
Yep. Mm-hmm.
so
The
that,
Yeah.
fresh.
I think it would be.
Yeah,
fun.
you would be fly fishing for those
that
those
what that
jabbas.
is?
Lowell says fishing is one of the ultimate grandpa flexes. Back in my day, I caught one big as you can imagine.
I
Yeah.
did see this kid recently over here in my neighborhood. I was looking at the neighborhood app. Freaking landed like an over 25-pounder trout up here somewhere.
Wow.
Nearby.
That
The
is-
little kid, he's just like freaking huge smile. You see, he's just like, it's
Oh,
huge.
wow.
Man, it was like, what?
You're right. We need a yacht.
Yeah. We just need a yacht. I don't know if we actually fish, but we need a yacht.
You're right.
It sucks too because you have to know how to tie your stuff together, like tie your lure on, and then make sure that you have your bobbers right, your weights right, the type of. It's a lot
Yeah.
depending on what you do, but it's fun, especially when you get out there and you're like, finally get it the stuff out into the water, and you're like, okay, now I can rest.
Oh, wow. And then you have to do it times 3.
Times 3.
I forgot to mention, I also got one of my videos got banned from TikTok this weekend. I was trying to go viral, and
Oh,
I
you
wasn't
got-
successful.
It got banned.
It got banned for it was called Dangerous Acts. And I'm like, but yet I see booties up in there. Okay. and I shared that to y'all. See
Oh.
if you would like to share it with
Yeah,
the
we can-
viewers to show this dangerous act. And I have to tell you, please do not try this at home.
For a second
Children.
there, I wasn't sure who it was, and then I was like, "Is that Kate?"
It's Kate. I found that little gold nugget in my memories.
Oh wow! Are you
It was
pulling up,
like
Oh,
Jamie?
it
Or
was
you
like
want me to?
2 or 3 years ago. It's
uh,
probably 3 years ago.
And you're like, "I'm gonna put this on TikTok,"
Yes,
and
I'm
then
like, oh,
TikTok's like, "No, you
no,
ain't."
you're not. It's like when you're gonna go for the slam dunk and someone just shoves it back at you.
Right? They're like, "Denied."
Yeah, that's how I felt.
Wow! Did you get any views on it
No,
before?
no, I mean it just barely loaded and then it got kicked off.
Really?
Yeah. So we have laughed. We thought this was hilarious. His it's like the Dumb and Dumber.
You know what that's from? That's from the Christmas Story.
Oh, is that what that is? I just think was it Dumb and Dumber where his tongue got stuck
Oh
on
yeah,
there?
that too. But on A Christmas Story, they triple dog dared a kid to stick his tongue to a frozen pole. And that's exactly
yeah,
what
that
he looked
kid
like.
actually went on to become a porn star.
Oh,
Oh,
no, that's
He
that's
ended up
nice.
doing a lot of
interesting.
good movies. He was in The Toy. He was in that movie, Business. What was it? Something Inc. Where they were taking the manure and selling it all over the place.
Oh,
Crazy.
that's-
Jumanji? Central Intelligence.
y'all. And let me tell you. So on Saturday, we actually went to go watch the fireworks in Lubbock. The fireworks show was on.
You went to McKinsey?
Yeah, so it's called Fourth on Broadway, but it happened on the third. But it's actually in McKinsey Park, not on Broadway anymore.
What kind of mess?
I remember when it was on Fourth on Broadway. I used
So
to like
we're
those,
yeah,
the
so we're
parades.
driving out to McKinsey, but I'm like seeing all these other cars parked along the highway. I was
Also
like, oh,
driving out.
I'm not going to do that. So I drive over the median and find a perfect spot, and then the show starts, and I didn't realize how perfect a spot that we had, and I had left my big boy camera at home.
Always be prepared for a good spot.
So I did not get any good big boy video pictures of the show, but I did get a slow motion of the finale that I posted on my Facebook, which was really
I
cool.
saw a little bit of that tonight.
Yeah,
earlier.
it was awesome. Again, it was
It
only a
looks good.
15-minute
It looks
show,
good.
which is ridiculous. I'm like, really? We only have a 15-minute show?
Be like, as much as we pay in taxes.
It's like we only have a budget for a 15-minute show. Are you kidding me?
That's how I think that Wolford has a really good one, but they canceled. Theirs was the fourth on. Theirs is always the fourth on the fifth, but they canceled tonight
Yeah,
It was-
because the place was underwater. Right?
because of all that rain that we received on Friday that nobody else got.
That nobody else got. It's so crazy too because where my kids go to Friendship, and we were like right in that area. We're on that side of town, and we didn't get anywhere near that amount of rain.
No, it was wild. Let's see what Lulz is saying. He said, I'm the kind of guy to go fishing, catch nothing, and still wind up overboard with some floaties. Right. He says, they're clearly saying booties aren't dangerous. That's just a ploy. That's just a ploy to to obtain pregnancy. TikTok is the devil. Bobby Boucher. They're out there selling poo. That's a hustle. Right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's a good hustle. We talk about limited resources and how big companies use up the planet, but selling poo, that's smart. Cannot have a more demand than supply. That's funny. Thank you
Yeah.
for being in here, Lols.
Yeah. Thanks.
Making
Thanks.
us laugh.
Making us laugh with the comments. Remember when we used to have the top comments from last
We did our favorite
our
comments
favorite
on season
comments
one.
from the, from
Lol's
the
coming in
shows?
hot today with
Yeah,
some of
he
those.
is. He's hitting those.
He's always coming in hot.
Jamie, how was your extended weekend?
It's okay. It's okay. Got some fun time. So some
Did you
family
work?
time and whatnot. No, I actually had an extra day off too. I didn't realize that I was going to get today off. So I was really surprised and happy about that.
Surprised, and then I said, "Hey, are we going to do a show?" And you're like, "Oh."
All right.
I thought like my timing was just all kind of.
So today I didn't do anything. We watched Alone season 4, I think.
Oh, that's
Season
right. I
4
did
or
see
5.
that show. I didn't watch it, but it was so funny after we talked because my phone's listen, and it showed me
Yeah.
whatever it showed me
Yeah.
on YouTube or.
So
or
you're
whatever.
being tracked instead
Yeah,
of
yeah.
to, you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah.
You're picking up one,
So-
putting down.
Instead of
Uh-huh,
eating chips.
I have aluminum foil under this hat. Just,
Aluminium.
Yeah, see right there? Look at
Speaking of aluminum foil, I have to tell y'all. Jamie, are you done? I'm so sorry I interrupted you.
Go ahead.
I listened to a podcast. Shocker, I know. Ashley Flowers. And
I
it
love that.
That's another
was,
shocker.
Absolutely love that.
yeah. And it was on, it was called Valiant Thor. Have you listened to that one?
Not yet.
Anyway, super interesting. Y'all should give it a listen. That's all I wanted to tell you. I don't want to spoil it.
Valiant
Right now.
Thor.
Valiant Thor. It's wild. It's wild.
So I was listening to a new podcast. Well, it's not new, but I don't usually listen to podcasts. But my brother told me about this one whenever we were traveling back from my dad's funeral. But the guy that does Will Ferrell, what's it called? Anchorman?
Yes.
Ron Burgundy.
No, it,
Don't ask me why I know
yeah,
that.
yeah. How do you know that?
I have no idea. I just know that. I've never
Well, he
watched
does a
it.
podcast as Ron Burgundy.
No
And
way.
it's
Oh,
hilarious.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
I was cracking up the whole time. It was hilarious. I was like, "Oh my goodness!"
What's it about?
And it's random. I've only
Just random
we only listened
topics?
to 2 episodes. This is random stuff. He tries to do true crime, and it's not. It's you have to watch. You have to listen because it just does a terrible job.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I feel like that on occasion.
Valiant Thor.
Yeah. So
Did
it's
you
called-
Google
yeah,
it?
The Ron.
No, I found it and put it in my list.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Ron Burgundy podcast. What's
What?
Sean saying there?
John's been killing it with
he's-
some.
I'm not
food.
Sean. I meant Dustin. Lols.
He says, still trying to get a beard like Jay Pine.
Me too.
And
I haven't
then-
shaved in like a year.
Years. Sean said, no, thank you. And Lowell says, y'all, I saw a meme that killed me. It said, me looking at insurrectionists celebrate the 4th of July like they weren't committing treason 7 months ago. I have seen so many of those. It's so hilarious.
So much I wish I could say right now.
Right. I know. Yep. You and I both. You and I both. But
And I'm like,
so let's talk about what we're streaming. Let's talk about it.
what are we streaming these days?
Mr. Pineapples.
You know, I
Wait.
was watching that show last. Oh, go ahead.
CPJ gave us a comment here.
Go
She
for it.
said, speaking of true crime, did y'all see where some Texas inmates escaped on July 4th? Hashtag freedom. Definition of freedom.
It was there. Independence Day.
I did hear that. What's his name made a commercial. I don't remember for who, where he redoes that whole Independence Day
Speech.
speech, but he does an updated one for this company. For the company,
Was
I
it
don't remember what it was.
the same guy that said the speech, like Bill Paxton?
Pullman.
Oh, Bill Pullman. I get them
Yep.
mixed up.
Yeah. So anyway, I'll have to look for it later. Anyway, I'm still watching that show, the Taste Around the Nation, which is so beautiful and awesomely made.
Taste Around the Nation.
Yeah, I talked about it the last 2 times with both of y'all separately.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's okay though. I'm not gonna rehash it for everyone out there.
okay. All right. Cool.
But what am I? I'm not really like binging anything, but I do have a lot of stuff on the docket that I can't wait to watch. So, for example, I know a lot. So, any Godzilla fans, the new Netflix anime Godzilla Singular Point came out on Friday.
Oh.
So, actually, when we're done with this, I'm gonna go and watch a couple episodes and check that out.
Is
I'm
it
really
the whole
excited about
season's already out? Because I know you typically
Yeah.
don't watch it until.
So
Yeah.
with anime or anything animated on Netflix, they already break it up. So you don't ever get a full season like you used to be able to get. You get like 8 episodes and then season 1 part 2 later in a few months, 6 months, something like that, whatever.
Did you see that?
Man, you were so lax because if that was my kid, I'd have been like, I'll be right back. And then you
Oh,
Whoa.
I'll drop bows on him later.
So anyway, that's one that I have on my list. What are y'all watching?
Go for it, Joe. I have to look
I
through my
am
stuff.
still. So there are 7 seasons to Alone, and right now we're on season 5. I think we just ended season 5. So I'm going to tell you about the last 2 seasons. So season 3 was actually about there were teams. So they were allowed to bring a family member or their wife or whatever. So that was really cool. The twist on that though was they're dropped off. One family member is dropped off at their base camp, and the other family member is dropped off 10 kilometers away from them, and there's a jungle, a rainforest in between them. So it took some time. I think it's crazy. I'm gonna give you a little bit of spoiler, but the team that won, it took them the longest to find their relative. So like 10 days. It took him 10 days. So from 10 kilometers, it took him 10 days to finally find to find the other member of his party.
Well, it's good to
Oh,
know.
my.
People really like this show because it got 7 seasons of it.
Yeah, and then the last one was on the last one that we watched were
It's
people
an hour
that
show too, right?
yeah, it's an hour show where the
Okay.
people that had been in the previous seasons but did not win, so they called it redemption. So
Oh,
So
I like
you-
when they do that on the Gordon Ramsay one. where they
right,
bring back
exactly.
some
Yeah, and
previous
it's kind of a trope for reality shows where they'll bring back the losers.
people. Yeah.
They'll bring back the losers and then see if they can do it. But it's so crazy to me because you are punishing yourself by going out in the first place. And I'm just like, you want that punishment again? Because they are utterly alone. You're going to starve yourself. You are away from family. There's nothing. You are by yourself. And to me, it's like utter punishment. And you want to go back out there and do it again. But they're like, it's $500,000, man.
Right, and it's
change
only a
lives.
short
Money
time
is
of their
a fact
life.
is a motivator.
Right? It could change our lives. I'm like, you almost died. You like literally almost died on your first season. And I was like, okay.
But
Well,
for
I don't-
$500,000.
I'll
Or
exactly.
But
I mean,
did
the point
you
is,
die?
I won't,
But did
yeah,
you
that's what I was
die?
going to say. The point is I will not die under any circumstances. It won't happen.
Right? Yeah.
Not
exactly.
on a
That's
TV
um,
show. So
yeah.
it's like,
Chris, the producer was asking me. She's like, "So how long do you think you last?" I'm like, 2 days.
see, and I've spoken with some friends who were in the production world, and I've seen some conversations with them, and it's like, here's the thing, though. He was like, dude, reality TV, there's no such thing. There's
Right.
absolutely no such thing. He's like, even at the bare minimum, there's still going to be some production to it. So
There has to be. There
Right.
has
He's
to
like,
be
there's no such thing as
production.
editing it. It's been staged on some level.
Right.
somewhere,
Yeah. And I
somehow.
agree with that.
So
But
I
this
was
one
like,
is probably the most authentic because the people are filming themselves with their own equipment.
when you say
like-
that, all I think is they got him. They got him.
Yeah.
They got
Oh,
him.
they
They're
got me. You're saying they fish and caught me,
oh,
right?
they got you.
Hook, line, and sinker is what he's saying.
These guys, they would agree with me. They if I message them separately,
Right.
they'd be like,
Yeah,
they
so
got him.
I agree
Promise.
that there is some, but on the most part, this one it's not like Survivor. Like Survivor is to me totally staged, and they even probably pick the winners by that point. But
I mean, if you can stage wrestling, you can stage Survivor.
right, exactly. But
You okay,
why would
Sam?
Wrestling used to be so real. It used to be
She's
so
like, wait a
real.
minute. The claw that Von Erich would put on people, that was
Yeah,
real.
that was real. When Undertaker that was real.
Right.
Yeah.
When The Rock would drop the people's elbow, that
Yes.
was real.
Andre the Giant was real.
What you
Oh.
binging, Sandy?
What you been, Sandy?
Okay, so I'm gonna shock y'all. So I started it was called the '90s, the Deadliest Decade. Oh, it was so slow. I couldn't get into it, so I don't recommend it at all. It's on IG. If you ever stumble on it, don't waste your time. I think I
Thank you for
sat
that.
through like
Good to know
30.
what not to waste our time on.
Yes, I think I sat through like 30 minutes of it, and I'm just like, I can't do it. I can't do it. So, but I did resume season 3 of Fatal Vows, and that is so good. So good. And it's just different stories of different people doing the same thing. So, there's that.
So Sandy's like, I just enjoy it.
I do. Like, I can just sit there forever
We know,
watching
I
it.
know.
I don't know what it is.
So
So I need to catch up on some comments.
Oh, go for
So when Sandy said Valiant Thor. I was like, that's what they call that documentary about the homeboy from the Capitol with the fur and the animal helmet. Okay, totally
Wait,
not
is that really
related.
what? Is that
Is
really
that
what
what
they
it
call him?
is? It really? Because that's
Tell us for
not
real if that's true,
at
Lowe's, or not.
all.
Because if you go look up what Valiant Thor is, what Sandy was talking about, just read what it
That
says.
just know that is not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And Sean said, "Look out." He said it's the sequel to Shawshank Redemption.
Wait,
Or
Oh.
Shawshank.
let's not do that. Shawshank Redemption, Sandy, you need if that's a movie you should put on your list. Shawshank Redemption is one of the most beautiful movies ever created.
I think I've seen this. Is this the
But
Holocaust?
But Laws
No.
was
You're talking
referring
about
in
Jacob
reference
Flatter.
to the inmates that escaped from CPJ's comic.
Oh, okay. But look
No,
for
is-
Shawshank Redemption.
Is there a little
Yeah.
girl in that movie?
No,
In
no.
Shawshank Redemption?
No, just
Okay.
look for it and
It's a
watch
fantastic
it. It's a
movie,
really,
yeah.
really
Yeah,
good
it's
movie.
rated. It's like super
Is it
high
based on a true
IMDb.
story?
No, it's Stephen King actually wrote it, but it's not what you would think. Like Stephen King
Okay.
makes these movies that are not in his traditional horror genre, and then they end up becoming these masterpieces that you're like Road to Perdition. Who knew that was a Stephen King book too? Great movie.
Never heard of it.
Hearts in Atlantis or whatever. It's a love story, but good lord, he made that one too, and it's just like what? Anyway, Shawshank Redemption is definitely one of the best
Yeah.
movies of all
Okay.
time.
It's like super
Absolutely.
high on Rotten Tomatoes. Like it's probably one of the
Even
highest
after all
scoring.
these years.
Yeah.
And it
Really?
gets you. It gets you like really good. There's some parts to it where it's really smart, and some parts where it really sucks. Like it's like, are you serious?
Yeah.
But then like the whole story all together wrapped up is beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful,
Okay.
beautiful.
It's
So y'all
definitely one of those.
know that y'all usually tell me, Sandy, you have to watch this. And I'm like, yeah, I got it. Oh, I'm writing it down, writing it down
Everyone
right now.
in the comments, if you agree with Joe and I,
Right.
put in the comments so she can see how high this movie we're telling her. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know
Well-
that I've ever said you should watch any movie as grand as this one. This one is worth the watch.
Yeah, it's definitely on my top 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's freaking phenomenal.
Okay.
Anyway,
okay. I'm going to try to remember that.
keep going in the comments. Sorry.
So Lowell says they sneaking Joe on camera. They trying to get the clout. And Lowell has a suggestion. Y'all need to watch Anne with an E, best show on Netflix. I had no expectations for strong parenting, women's choice, traditional versus new, innovative, real man versus popular man themes.
I
Cool.
did not like that at all.
CPJ said
Did you
Dustin
watch it?
Davis. I love that show.
Oh.
My daughter watched it because she had read the book and wanted to watch it, so we did, and I was like,
Oh, it's based off a book.
yeah, it's not. Let me tell you this: it's not bad. It's just really not my cup of tea. It's just one of those. It's old.
Is it a
school.
musical? Oh, is it a musical?
No, it's just based in old school and.
Is Shawshank
Anyway.
Redemption a musical?
No.
Okay.
It is not a musical.
Sandy,
CPJ
watch
says it's
Shawshank.
okay.
Seriously, you will love it. Okay. If
I don't know.
CPJ tells me,
do
suggest it, I'm going to do it.
Do you have any more comments? I want to talk about
That's it. That's it.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
So again, another one that I'm waiting to watch, which I just found out comes out this month, and it's another animation. But Joe, I sent it to the Men of Suds group, and it was the Transformers trilogy, War for Cybertron, which it's cool already. The series, there's 3 separate series that have come out, but the newest series, which comes out at the end of the month, actually takes us back to primordial Earth, and the Autobots and the Decepticons meet. I don't know how it's supposed to work out, but the Beast Wars are involved.
Oh,
So
really?
so I don't know if it's
used to watch
canon
that. That's
or
awesome.
not, or what, dude. But I knew you and I used to be big into Beast Wars back in the day, and so the fact that they're doing a new show and reintroducing that, and again, I don't know if they're considering the original show canon or not,
Right.
or what. But in some of the preview animation stills or whatever, they show where Optimus and Megatron and even Galvatron are talking to Primal and Megatron was still just Megatron then. Anyway, so they're beast forms, and it's
Wow.
like what? So anyway, I'm pretty stoked for that. I'm pretty excited for that, and can't wait to watch that at the end of the month.
Why at the end of the month?
It releases in July.
Okay.
29th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was one more anime, and I just can't remember what it was called, but not an anime, but freaking! I think you'd like this too, Sandy. So, what is his name? The guy, Mallrats, Clerks, and all that, Joe?
Kevin Smith.
Thank you, Kevin Smith. I just found out, and here in this.
Which one
month
was
too,
he?
He's Fat Bob. That's his name.
He's
in the
Peachy
show.
Bob. He's Peachy Bob.
Silent Bob.
Silent Bob. Yo, you're right. Not Fat Bob.
And he's not so fat anymore.
Silent-
But anyway, he created a sequel to He-Man from the 80s.
Oh,
and
yes,
it's
I
coming
saw
out
that.
at the end of the month. It's called He-Man
yes, and it's a
Revelations.
continuation.
It's continuation. It's a
Yeah.
direct sequel from the end of this cartoon back in the 80s that we saw. And so we get to see what's going to happen. Anyway, it's a two-part. At first I thought it was a movie, but it's a two-part series. So remember we were talking about that. So Revelations is 6 or 8 episodes, and then we'll get the next 6 or 8 episodes in 6 months or so. And
Oh, wow.
FYI,
and
there is
I
a comic
think
book.
Mark Hamill,
Yeah,
Luke
he's
Skywalker,
Skeletor.
is the voice of Skeletor.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's really cool. So, yeah. Anyway, he's such a great bad guy voice actor.
Yeah,
he
he is.
does
Yeah, he
really
is.
well. So he played Joker he still plays Joker at times.
Yeah.
He played it through all the animated series. But anyway, yeah. So I'm really excited for that because it looks freaking awesome.
Yeah, it looks and it's like, that's going to be really cool. Who else was a big fan of He-Man? Renee. With
Oh, that's right.
yeah, she even knew Battle Cat's
Battle Cringer's name and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and all that stuff, so,
oh,
yeah.
so there's a scene where Cringer actually talks, but not like. I mean, it's like Jaga. Went
Is it
into
cringy?
Cringer, and it was like, what? So anyway, no, a little bit, yes, maybe. You have to watch and see.
We'll have to watch and see. We don't know.
So anyway,
that looks
those are
really
two
cool.
of the ones I'm good. I can't wait to binge and report back.
So they're on your calendar. They're on
They
your
are,
to watch.
They are. Are
Dustin,
you watching
Okay.
Loki too?
are we watching what?
Loki?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
was-
This last episode was like mind-blowing.
It was really good.
I've not watched it.
You haven't watched it?
It's
Sandy.
not watching.
And I like Marvel, but I just like the movies.
You know what? Somebody I read. So who was the bad guy in Blade? Do you remember him?
Oh yeah, Steven Dorff.
Wesley
Yes.
Snipes.
Razzing.
Yeah, he
Razzing on
made.
her.
Yeah, he
Big
was
time.
making a bit, and all he saw was the trailers.
He was like, I feel so bad for you.
Right.
Like, I can't believe you're starring in this horrible movie.
Yeah, and I was like, "Who are you? And what was the last thing you did?"
Yeah.
I was like,
like-
"What kind of?"
Yeah, he was really
Bullshine is
razzing her
that?
like crazy, man. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was crazy.
But it's funny that you mentioned Blade because I've been watching the clips of all the Blade movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Of course, one of my favorite songs is that one, that Bloodbath song.
Right?
That starts at the
I hate-
beginning.
I hate admitting that I love that song too. Dude, when I hear it, I'm always like, I look around to make sure no one's around, or I skip it and wait till I'm in the car, and when it randomly comes on, I'm like,
And then
oh
you
my
blast
God.
it.
Right. Yes, Sandy.
yes. Do you know? You remember? Have you seen that
was
movie,
at the club.
Sandy? You haven't seen that movie, have you?
What movie?
Blade.
Those are fun movies.
Yeah, so she doesn't even know the song that we're talking about.
Yeah, I'm just like,
I think you will. I think when you heard the
You've
song,
heard the
if you hear
song,
the
though.
song,
I
you'll
guarantee you've heard the
recognize
song,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, because
What's
they
the
play
name of
club
it?
all the time.
oh, back that thing up.
Sure. You know
I
what?
think
though?
it's called
There-
Bloodbath or something like that.
I think it's Bloodbath too. So you know they recast who Blade is going to be for this new Marvel's Blade.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's
It's
what's his
Mahershala
name
Ali.
from? He's done a couple of things. I watched the
Yeah,
movie
but
where he was a
Blade-
piano player, where he's a black
Green
piano
Book.
player in the South. Oh man, that was so good.
But I just can't buy it. Mahershala Ali is a great actor.
Oh yeah, yes.
Great. It just can't see him holding the.
You
chops
can't see him
of
being a
Wesley
hero?
Snipes. No, I can't see him being Blade. Because Blade, even in the comics, Blade is just this buff guy. I mean, Wesley Snipes. That he brought Blade to life. So when you think Mahershala Ali, he is like, help me out, Joe. He is like,
Wesley Snipes is like a presence. Like he.
well, no, but even I'm just seeing like just their body types. Mahershala Ali,
Like
is
he works out.
Oh yeah, like he was.
No,
Yeah,
Mahershala Ali's like this little pencil.
he's like a thin framed guy. Yeah.
yeah.
But if they can make that. I hate to
If
say
they
it,
can
but-
do that Captain America scene,
If
where
they
he's
can make
like-
what's his name? God dang
Don't
it.
say Shazam.
He was in House. He was one of the doctors in House, and they buffed him up for the Eternals. So maybe they can make him buff too. I'll have to talk. We'll talk about it. No, it wasn't. He wasn't in House. Never mind.
Okay, because I was like,
We'll have to talk about that in the after show.
Oh, Carrie, I meant Chris Evans like pre Captain America. You know, when they made him look like really thin frame, real skinny.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what,
Yeah, but
you
this
know,
would be that's how
like
he
the
normally is.
opposite. Right.
And if they would do that the opposite, like they did for Shazam, that would be just gross. They'd be like, come on.
yeah. The name of that song is Confusion, and it's by New Order. That's
Confusion.
the
New Order.
that's
Oh,
the
New
song.
Order.
I'm
That
for real
is,
writing this down
girl,
because I
you're gonna
do
listen
love
to it,
new
and then
music.
Eric, better
It's
close the
from
door.
9 years ago.
Get her-
I mean, that's hella new for me. Confusion, New Order. Is this something like I could run to? Is it like that type of? Because I,
I
I
think
love
so. Yeah,
I
it's
stuff.
think you could.
it's pretty intense.
Because it makes
but-
me want to speed when I'm in the car.
Oh my gosh. Like
I wanna-
Metallica.
Yeah.
Like makes me want to speed.
You know, hey, real quick, also, guys. I know we're about to end, but if in the comments, if you could put what you're binging, because I do want to know what you are watching, because maybe it's something.
Okay, so let me catch up because we've got some comments in here real quick.
Yeah.
So Lowell says it's about a really annoying girl who lives her whole life out of the box, but sometimes you need to be out of the box because systems exist that adults can get trapped in and feel powerless. Allegedly. He says, I'm at a real loss for new shows though. My streaming entertainment game is weak right now. Nah, join the club. Mine's always weak. And he says, I'm loosely following Boruto, but
I'm watching right now. I'm watching Boruto, and I'm right in the middle of some of the filler episodes, and it's driving me crazy. So
I still haven't watched Boruto at all.
Is Boruto in association with Naruto?
It is, but you need to
Okay.
watch Boruto episode. I think it's 126, where it's called "A Father's Love" or something like that. Lulz, man, it is the best episode of anime I've ever seen. So I'm just telling you.
He says the 90s Batman show was dope. Also, the Justice League Unlimited cartoons were the best.
So
Oh, yeah.
they released a Justice League Unlimited movie last year called Justice League versus the Fatal Five. So it was really cool seeing the original animation come back and the original voice actors come back to reprise their roles and fight the Fatal Five. Although what I didn't like was when they upped the rating. So instead of it being your traditional PG-13, it was up to rated R, and there was some blood and other things, and it was just
Other
okay.
stuff.
It still was
Other
really good.
shenanigans.
Shenanigans, Sandy. Okay, real quick, let me tell you this too. Oh, do you have another comment? I'm sorry.
Let me see.
I'm not looking at the comments, so I didn't know.
Okay, so CPJ says, "Lols, try comedians in cars getting coffee with Jerry Seinfeld." Then he says Wesley Snipes was the hero. And CPJ says, "Have y'all watched Dead to Me on the Flicks?"
No, I just
I've not heard of
about
it.
that today, actually, but I didn't know what it was about. But I saw it come up, so tell us about it, CPJ.
Yeah, I was gonna say a
Describe
little
it to us
brief
in the comments.
synopsis, and then Juvenile for the win. Dandy holding it down for the 99 to the 2000.
The 99 to the 2000.
Oh, back that thing up. Yeah.
Yeah. Or how about Dr. Foster?
No, but I'm always liking a good medical drama. So if that's what that falls under, CPJ, great.
But Chris Evans is in shape though. I thought that was CPJ that had said that. It's about his son, and then he says Bruto. I mean,
So it's
Yeah.
episode 65, Lulz. If you can make it to episode 65, that's the one I'm talking about.
So let me tell you this little opus real quick, okay? There is an anime. It's the first anime in traditional Japanese anime that I ever saw as a young man. It's the anime that got me on to watching all anime, actually. And when I first saw this thing, I was absolutely in love. It blew my mind away. It was so different from any of the Western cartoons, from Voltron, from He-Man, G.I. Joe, all that kind of stuff. And I was just like, what did I just watch? This is amazing. Okay? So watch this. I remember watching the last episode, which was the dumbest episode in all of existence of any show or any anime, movie, anything. There's never been another show that has reached the level of asinine, complete ridiculousness that this episode did. We had this great show that was just complicated, emo, robots, monsters, and everything, and the world was going to end. And then we got this ending where it's a kid in a chair, just this existential life crisis where it's like, did the world end or not? What just happened? And it's like, wait, are we learning about his masturbation? What is going on here? I have no idea. It was the dumbest ending ever. So then the people came back. They redid it. They said, we're going to make a movie, call it The End, and we'll redo that. throw away that whole last episode, okay?
Yeah.
And it was
just
epic.
pretend like you didn't see that.
Yeah, it was epic
Right.
and spectacular. Well, then they decided, let's retell the entire story. So we'll make these 3 movies come out. And the first movie came out. And then 8 years later, the second movie come out. And then 12 years later, the other movie was going to come out, whatnot, and it didn't. And then they were like, okay, we'll bring it down the 13th year. Didn't happen again. It was like, oh my gosh, this never happened. It just released on June 15th in Japan and is headed to Hulu. I think it's Hulu. No, Amazon Prime. It's headed to Amazon Prime before the end of this month. And the series is called Neon Genesis Evangelion. A little side note here, I will share with y'all in the after show. And if you want to know what it is I'm going to share, you can ask me and I'll tell you another time. But anyway, I am so excited to watch this final piece of movie.
He's dangling the bait.
End it all.
Yeah.
And I'm
The
like,
carrot.
oh my gosh,
The carrot.
finally, I'm going to get to see the end. Yeah. What is that little... Huh. That's the first time I've ever seen that little black line.
The little
under
black mark
ice
and
cream.
like, you know where I'm heading after this, right? Y'all know where.
Right. Right. Oh, so CPJ says, up your life insurance because Dr. Foster will blow your mind mental health wise. For real.
Ooh, I'm gonna
Dr.
put that on
Foster.
my list.
Huh. Y'all need to watch Dr. Pimple Popper.
I watched
I
it.
mean, for real.
I
I binge
joke.
on that.
No joke.
I do binge on that.
that is, I'm just
At
like,
night, yeah.
well, how did you let it get that bad?
That, oh my God. Every time you see like these lumps, I've had it since I was 16. Like,
What
really?
was it called? Dr. what?
Pimple popper.
Foster. Dr. Foster.
Oh, Foster.
Let's see. CPJ says, dead to me is 2 gals getting caught up with hood rat things, getting hood rat consequences.
Huh. I like how she tied that back into her previous comment. That's
Yeah.
good.
Thank you.
That is
And that is how you kids do television.
that's comment gold there. Awesome. Yeah, I'm glad to be back. I had
Glad to
some
have you back, Joe.
difficulties, and so it's been nice. And so I was looking forward to tonight's show. So
Oh,
Well, I'm
sorry. I
glad.
hope
Glad to
we
have you back.
Met your expectation for tonight.
it didn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter. I just wanted to say what's up and say hi and get back to some kind of
Some
normalcy.
kind of normalcy, for
Yeah.
sure.
But let's
Normalcy?
I
I thought it's pronounced normalcy. Is it not? Or am I
That's a
just making it
fallacy.
fancy?
That's a fallacy.
normalcy.
you. I appreciate it.
Normalcy.
So if you come in and tune in on Wednesday with us, there's a big chance that we might ask Lols to come on and hang out with us.
That would be awesome.
That
Walls.
would be awesome. That's a goal of mine to have Lulz on.
If he doesn't, then
right.
he'll
Then
be
we'll
in the
ban him
comments
from the comments.
Right.
until he
We'll highlight
appears,
his comments.
until he
Right.
shows up, and then
And
Really
then,
back in the comments.
only then. And I'm gonna go get some ice cream after this, y'all. So just in case y'all didn't get the hint earlier.
We picked it up. We picked up what you were dropping.
So hey, so do you have the comments ready? Do you have their closing ready?
I do. That's what I was just looking for.
Nice. And then, Jamie, you got the video?
What
'Cause
video?
The closing video.
Because we've been like slacking.
Man, we've been terrible.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say EP problems. CPJ says, everybody with me. Lulz. Sean said no.
Oh, if y'all haven't checked out John's Facebook page yet, he's been posting up some pictures of some dope looking food. And
Sean
it's
can
like-
cook. I'm
I
like
know,
shocked.
I was like, what is, who? I said, did your mom make them? He goes, no, me. And I was like, what? Those enchiladas were bomb.
Yeah, he's like, what?
And then those crispy wings, they look so
His
freaking
wings looked
crispy.
good. His enchiladas, his rice.
Man, those, yeah. Anyways, go check out John's, his face. And in case you're wondering, on Facebook, it's Encarnacion.
Just like it is
Not
in the
Sean. Oh,
comments.
that's right. We just call him that. I call him
Yeah.
that. That's how he introduced himself to me decades ago. So
Cool.
Can y'all hear the fireworks? They're just steady.
no, but I'm looking for my. I'm looking for that thing that says the things that Joe said.
Oh, it's on Discord.
My wife said, "Who are you saying you love?" And I was like, "Oh." I told her a different story, and I was like, "Wait, that wasn't the right story." And I looked up, and I was like, "Oh, it's because he did this, babe, and that made me feel good. I was like, yes.
That made me feel loved.
That
It really did.
made me feel the love.
We'll see you back here on Wednesday, everyone. We love you. Hope you have a great night. Thanks for hanging out with us. And as usual, all right,
Remember-
everyone.
I'm like,
She was so
remember
quiet,
to
I
be
wasn't sure.
kind and rewind.
Look for and meet new friends.
Yeah, filthy animals.
Good night, everyone.
Good night,
Way better.
everybody.
That was way better.
Love
That was
y'all.
good.
Look at this.
It's the social distancing show. How did you not know? How did you not know? It's the social distancing show. How did you not know? How did you not know? It's the social distancing show. How did you not know? How did you not know? It's the social distancing show. How did you not know? How did you not know?